Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Issue podcast. How's everyone doing? Clay, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty great. How are you, man?
It's been a nice couple days. Relax. Hold on one second. Let me change that. Oh, there it is. The Next Issue red. Um, so we have Josh is out doing some family stuff. That's what he
Thanksgiving.
said. I don't know. I've never met his family,
They
so
they've they've pivoted their Thanksgiving to today.
yeah. Well,
Happy Colonizer Day, everyone.
listen. I celebrate that as like we're gonna eat a lot today, and then
Yes.
also go to somebody's house that I don't normally go to. So
Whose
there's
house did
that.
you go to?
We went to my aunt's house. Like we all live pretty close, like in the same maybe like I don't know 2 mile radius of each
Oh
other.
wow,
But
wow.
like I don't go to their houses very often. Like
Okay. Even though they're that close, you only do like holidays.
yeah. I mean we'll do stuff every once in a while. We'll have like lunch on a weekend or something. But yeah, I'm kind of a homebody. Like
Yeah.
I like being at
More
home.
than me.
Yeah, I like being at home, and I'm here as long as I can. I'll be home. So, but yeah, it was nice to see everyone. Got a lot of food.
Oh yeah.
We still have leftovers, which I'll probably get into right after we get into recording.
Leftovers.
So
This is the only acceptable morning to have pie for breakfast.
I disagree.
Okay. When you have so
Vehemently
much
disagree.
leftover cheesecake and chest pie, you just
Well,
have to have it for breakfast.
let us know in the chat. Is cheesecake pie? I think it is.
Yes, I think it is. It's
I think
just
we've had this
called
argument before,
cheesecake.
but it's always a good one. What about no bake cheesecake?
What are your three essential Thanksgiving staples?
Oh, ham. I like ham more than turkey. I like turkey, but if we don't have turkey, it's fine.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes,
Mm,
and uh, sometimes I'll forego dessert just to get more food, like more of
yeah.
the main stuff. So like I kind of did that. It's weird. It's gonna be weird, but my aunt makes this spaghetti and a green sauce, like a green pepper sauce.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but it's delicious because it's just like a lot of cheese and cream and yeah,
Oh,
it's really
like a
really good.
Parmesan.
Yeah, no, we use she uses the I don't even know what she uses, but it's like the like green pepper sauce, like so it's like those big green peppers. So it's not spicy or anything. It's just
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's just more for the coloring. So,
Yeah, I used
but
some of
she
those.
bake
I used some of those peppers making some hot sauce this past
yeah,
week.
so it's baked, and then like I said, there's a lot of cheese and stuff. So
So it's like a
those are my
baked
three things,
spaghetti pesto, but it's
something
not a
like that. Yeah,
pesto.
just
It's
not pesto, I guess, but yeah, something like that. It's real good though.
all right.
Um, what about you, Clay? What do you like to Thanksgiving
Um,
up with?
you got to have stuffing. You got to have gravy, and you got to have a key dessert. And I guess since I've been going to my in-laws for Thanksgiving, their staple for dessert is cheesecake, and it is always good. I
I
mean,
yeah.
Shelby's mom makes a cheesecake so good. Her brother will actually call her mom and say, "Will you make an extra one just for us to have it?"
I'm a big fan of cheesecake too. So I love it. Now, if you do see the coloring in the background in my screen, the I do have the TV on. The World Cup is on mute, just so I can keep an eye on this France Denmark game.
Fuck France. Go Denmark. I hated watching that France game yesterday. God damn. I
Oh
hate the
wait,
French.
yeah. I mean, they're really good.
Or not yesterday, day before when
Yeah, a couple days
they when
ago, but
yeah, when they scored, what was it?
like 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Yeah, no fun. That day was crap. When Germany played Japan, I missed that game. The rest of the games were like 7-0 and just
I I love that the Japan comeback like got everyone talking about this anime that I'm watching, Blue Lock.
oh really?
So let me
Blue
give you a
lock.
quick synopsis for everybody that doesn't know. Blue Lock, it's a manga originally published that it started being published after the previous World Cup because Japan lost, right? They didn't like that was kind of the idea. And in most most sports anime, it's all about like teamwork and like getting the team together and stuff. And you would think for
Yeah.
soccer it would be the same, right? but this one kind of flips that upside down. The way I describe it, it's like battle royale but with soccer. But like, I mean, they're not really like killing each other, but they might as well be because yeah, it's really cool. It's all about like making like the best striker in the world, and that's gonna get Japan to the World Cup. So when Japan came back, all of a sudden in the Germany game, like people were, and the mangaka for Blue Lock actually designed the kits for for Japan, or one of the kits for Japan. So yeah, Leonard came in the chat. Yeah, it's look, I can't get up at 4 in the morning to watch the first game, but I've been at least watching the 7 and some of the first games have been really good, like that Argentina game that I missed.
Yeah, I used to go. Like, I went to the World Cup when I was in college. I got to see Brazil play in Dallas.
I think it was 98 or
92.
96, 92. Yeah, my dad was here. He went to Florida
I
for
still
one of
had
the
my
Mexican
World
games.
Cup pin from that. And I used to just go to Trinity Hall with my buddy Terry, and we would watch because the Trinity Hall was huge and just would draw all sorts of fans.
Yeah.
And always had great food. I would just get there for the breakfast and stay all day watching the game. But now,
Still get sleep. Yeah, sleep is
but
important.
but now, like, I watched the first U.S. game, or I missed the first U.S. game. I watched them play the second one to a tie, and then have just enjoyed the other games, except for the blowouts. They're just tough to watch.
They are. Yeah, and we had one. What was it yesterday? I think.
Spain did what, 7-0?
Yeah, Spain scored 7 on Costa Rica. Look, and
Oh, that was rough.
I'm a rival of Costa Rica because they're part of our group, and not our group, but like our whatever it's called. Like they're part of the same CONCACAF that we are, so we're always fighting them
Yeah.
to get into the World Cup. But man, that was rough. That was rough. All right, but that's not what we're here for. Although I really love when my nerd stuff like
Bleeds
goes
into
out
your
into the
soccer stuff.
mainstream. Yeah.
I don't mind talking sports every now and again. There's some good sports stories, but all in all, whenever you watch sports in America, it's just watching one millionaire be happy and one millionaire be sad.
Yeah, for the most part, there's a lot of stuff that if you dig deep, you're like, oh no. So I try not to. Like I know there's a lot of bad stuff going on with this World Cup, and I'll definitely look into it more once. Yeah, like
Dude.
Oh.
Last week tonight, John Oliver, watch his special. He did one on
Yep.
FIFA 4 years ago that was a home run. He did one on the Qatar and World Cup this past week, which gives you everything. They confronted everyone with the slave labor, the anti-gay tactics, the country, all the bad shit that's going on, done with jokes. So enjoy John Oliver. He tells you all the sad stuff with funny.
Yeah, that's so I like I said, I do understand, but I mean, I've been watching the World Cup since I was a child, so it really, there's some good stuff there too.
So at least 2 years ago.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, 2 years ago. Thanks, Clay.
Just reminding you guys, I'm the old guy.
We will be talking about our main topic later on, and it'll be more of a conversation. I think there's a lot of nuance to this, but I love a splashy tweet or a splashy headline, right? Like this is from we actually posted this on our channel, and a few people commented, so we'll get into those comments. But in a podcast recently, Quentin Tarantino says that MCU actors are not movie stars. You have a lot of actors that have become famous playing these characters, but it's the characters that are famous. So we'll get into that in the second half of the show. We have a lot of feedback from Twitter and the YouTube channel. So we'll get into that a little bit. We have our own thing we want to talk about because there's some stuff with things I would never think, like people that I would never think they would get into beef, like Martin Scorsese and Simu Liu. But yeah, we'll definitely get into that in the second half of the show. By then, hopefully, maybe Kyle will be with us. But I do want to touch on one more thing, and this is kind of a downer before we get into it. Unfortunately, Jason David Frank passed away in the last week. For those that don't know, he played the Green Ranger originally, who became the White Ranger, and then After that, I stopped watching, so I don't know what other like. But he can't. I know he was very involved with the show for a long time, from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, that was pretty sad. We lost kind of two of like people that I grew up watching in the last couple of weeks. So that was kind of a bummer. So make sure to go back and check out some of his work. Like I said, I think Power Rangers is a really fun series. If you put aside, I mean, you got to take the camp with it, right? Because it's real campy, but it's fun. So, oh, Clay, are you still there? Oh, I think Clay might be frozen a little bit. Let me give him a message. In the meanwhile, I'll keep talking for a little bit. Um, yeah, Clay's gone. All right. So while Clay gets back, like I said, we will be talking about Martin Scorsese. So if you're in the chat, and then Kim, I think you already put a comment on our thread there. So we'll get into that. And we'll definitely be talking about more comics, which we could probably do right now while Clay gets back. I'll bring up some of the stuff I picked up this week. Now, this week, if you're not aware, it was local comic shop day. Oh, here's Clay back. Clay, there you are.
Yes.
I lost you for a second. I was like, Clay's listening very intently to me. Like, how polite.
My internet.
You know, I normally have. I feel like I have pretty stable internet, but on Wednesday when I was doing the Andor live stream watch along thing, um, which thanks for everybody that stopped by live, even if you didn't watch the whole thing.
I didn't even know you were doing it.
It was kind of a last minute thing because I was like, oh shit, I'm off on Wednesday. The finale's then, so let's just do that. So I don't, I can do it early enough where like maybe some people will be around because like maybe they also don't work or whatever. Um, and also wanted to avoid spoilers, so I wanted to watch it early.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. You can go back and rewatch it and kind of sync it with the timer. Oh, Clay might be frozen again. Um, so that's a bummer. That Clay. Oh boy, technical difficulties today. Um, well, while Clay gets back, I'll talk about my comics that I picked up this week. As I was saying, this week you can find some of the local comic store day exclusives. So like this is when these special variants. So for example, you can see here this is the 8 billion genies. Draw yourself your own genie variant. So really cool stuff to check out. There's a lot more. So I'll just go through some of these comics while Clay gets back. Yeah, he just texted me. What a bummer. All right. So I also picked up X-Men number 17. Here, let me drop him out of the picture. Uh-oh. Oh, am I off there too? Uh-oh. Oh no, what a day. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Real weird shit going on today. So yeah, let's talk about this. X-Men number 17 from Gary Duggan and Josh Cassara. Really fun stuff. It completes the arc that we're looking at for the Children of the Vault. So if you haven't picked this up, I think Gary Duggan is having one of the most fun runs for X-Men in a long time. I really enjoyed Hickman stuff, but I think um, yeah, I mean, just the way he's been doing it has been really fun. So I really like that. Also, this week, Yoda, the new miniseries from Yoda. This is going to be a 5 or 6 issue miniseries. This is written by Kevin Scott with art by Nico Leon. Really fun stuff. If you want a story about one of the most beloved characters, I think you'll really enjoy this. It goes back. I think Yoda's a really interesting character because he bridges the High Republic stuff, all the new stuff because he was around then, to the Skywalker saga stuff that most people know, right? So really cool stuff. Also, we have Star Wars Revelations. I have the Peach Momoko cover. This one is a really interesting one shot because it's kind of setting up the future of the Star Wars line. So like if you haven't been reading the Star Wars line and you're behind, I think this is a fun place to kind of start and pick it up. And it's just really going to tell you like everything that's been going on and kind of what they're planning for the future. Um, Clay's having some issues with his computer. So I'll just keep going. Okay. All right. So also we have this week, and I know Josh is very excited for this book. He put it on the chat, even though he wasn't going to be able to be there, be here. So we have Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise. I didn't pick up the main cover yet because they didn't have any in my store. This is a book written and with art by Trad Moore. Trad Moore is a really cool creator. You may have seen some of his work from Silver Surfer Black with Donny Cates, and I really enjoyed this book. Josh said that this had a really heavy metal feel to it. Now I'm not super familiar with heavy metal, but I mean I think based on what he described, like the structure of the chapters and everything going on, I think it could definitely be something that's kind of heavy metal related. So that was really interesting. Highly recommend it. Um, we have, of course, Vanish for the week. We have the next issue of Vanish. This is issue 3. Continues to be pretty kick-ass. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, KLC Press doing really fun things. Now this one, we have issue 4 coming out next month, and then they're gonna take a little break for the like once the first arc is wrapped up. So make sure to go check those out. Also, we have Robin. Tim Drake, Robin number 3. DC has been doing these '90s throwback variants. So you can see this is the old DC logo, the old Robin logo from the comics from the '90s. Now this book follows Tim Drake, so really fun stuff. I haven't read this issue, but I like what I think it's Megan Fitzpatrick and Riley Rossmo. Yeah, Riley Rossmo and Megan Fitzpatrick working on this series. I really like the way they're approaching. Uh, let's see, Clay giving us an update. Still updating. Thanks, Clay. Here's another one of the local comic shop variants. This is oh boy, what's the book called? Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. This is the new Jason Aaron book, and as you can see, it's got the little foil tints. This is the local shop variant for the week. Really cool stuff. We have art by Alexandra Tefenki, and then also we have some art by Nick Dracota in a few pages, which is really interesting. I love Dracota's art, but his art is very different from. So it was definitely there uh, to illustrate a big time jump, right? So it's really interesting. So highly recommend you check this out from Boom Studios. I think it's really fun. And then, like I mentioned, we have this is a regular 8 Billion Genies number 6. Um, this book is really cool. Like if you haven't been reading 8 Billion Genies, it may be one of my favorite series from 2022. Charles Soule, Ryan Brown. The premise is that once the population of Earth hits 8 billion, which just happened a couple weeks ago, or maybe this past week, everyone gets a genie. And if you can imagine everyone on Earth having their own genie, yeah, see, 8 Billion Genie is also one of Clay's favorite books. So we'll definitely be talking about this when we do our 2022 recap. Um, we also got this Grimm number 1 variant. This is from Boom. As you can see, it's foil. I don't know why they reprint. I don't know if they just reprinted this. It looks like it just may be like a second or third print, but I mean it was foil. It was a new cover, so I definitely had to pick it up. Grimm is also one of my favorite series. That's also on hiatus. I think they'll be coming back in December, so stay tuned for that. Next from DC Comics, we have DC Mech number 5. This is the book with the mechs. If you like mech anime, Kenny Porter and um, uh, Baltimore Rivas doing some really cool stuff, reinventing the world of DC, integrating these mechs into the fold. So that's a lot of fun. Next, we have DC versus Vampires, number 11 of 12. So we're almost done with this series. James Tinian, Matthew Rosenberg, Otto Schmidt, three fantastic creators. Yeah, this is just what if vampires had to fight the DC universe. Things get really, really fucked up right away. So really cool stuff. Let me take a break here because they almost scored, and I'm gonna take a sip. Much respect to any creators that do shows on their own. Props to you. This is the local comic shop day variant of Batman and Joker Deadly Duo. This is the Mark Silvestri book. As you can see, it's black and white with the foil as well. I'm a sucker for these foil local shop variants. Yeah, DC versus Vampires has some of the best art. I agree. Oda Schmidt is just really, really like just really good creator. His art, I don't know, it really fits the style of whatever they're going for here. So we have then Dark Crisis, the Dark Army number 1. This is the introduction of Red Canary. This is a new character, so I had to get her cover. Um, the book is fine. I think it's an interesting tie-in to the event, although to me feels a little inconsequential other than the introduction of Red Canary. So I'm glad I picked it up. You can check out the full review in the channel for a lot of these comics. Next we have Batman Fortress number 7. I know Josh has been reading this, really enjoying it. I haven't read this specific issue, but I'm really excited to kind of keep going with that. Let's see. Then we have the Image number 8 anthology. If you're not picking these up, I think you're kind of missing out on feels a little bit of like historic in comics, like Image doing a year-long anthology and bringing in all these creators. Like in this issue, we have the return of Casanova, which is the Mad Fraction comic from a while back. Like we haven't seen Casanova in a long time. We have some really cool stuff. Scotty Young doing some fun stuff here. Uh, let's see, we have Jeff Jones having a story here. James Tinian introducing Wall Tree, which is going to be really interesting. Yeah, these are very cool. And they come with like really cool covers that kind of celebrate the work. I'm sure there's going to be some Spawn stuff next week. Looks like Clay's back. We'll see. Hey Clay, you
I
back?
made it.
All
My
right.
my internet dropped. Then my computer just locked up, rebooted, started doing every update. Steam started updating. Windows started updating.
Oh no. Well, I'm glad you're back because I was running out of comics to talk about.
All
But
right, let's
I do have a couple more, so I'll
get into
finish
it.
this. So for local comic shop day, they also reprinted this Behold Behemoth number 1, um, and it's really cool because it folds out, so it's like
That's
there we
awesome.
go. Yeah, really cool stuff. Like just really really cool. I like the book originally. If you can go listen to the review, but man, this cover was just super cool. Boom Studios doing some fun stuff. A lot of end of the world type of books too. I wonder why. Uh, we also have this from the Frank Miller imprint, Ancient Enemies number 1. I haven't read this, but I mean,
What?
I feel like as a dumb collector that I am, I had to get it at least. Frank Miller teaming up with Dan DiDio, just um, an old man comic book club.
Old Man Comic Book Club. That's what it is.
So we'll see, but I'm interested. I haven't read a Dan DiDio book since the New 52, so we'll see how this holds up. But the art seems pretty cool. So yeah, I'll give you guys an update on this. I really like the logo because it's like that's Frank Miller right there. The hat.
The hat, yeah, the
Yeah.
fedora.
And then we have for local comic shop day once again another variant. The Walking Dead 50. It's a foil.
Foil
So
cover. Yeah,
foil
because that's
cover.
an old Carl cover, I remember.
Yeah. I mean, the Walking Dead Deluxe is just reprinting the whole series in color, which is really smart as a business decision. People love The Walking Dead. Uh-oh. Oh,
What?
I thought you were frozen again.
No, I'm trying to pull up one of my books to talk about. So
Yeah. So, but that's all the stuff. That's all the new stuff I've been reading. Clay, I can let you chime in for some of the stuff you've been reading or watching or whatever, and then I do have more stuff to talk about. Some really fun stuff actually. Um,
all right. I have been reading through Scribed. I'm a big fan of Adrian Tomine's books. He did a book called The Loneliness of the Long Distance Cartoonist. Let me share the page it's on. Um, uh, sorry,
I can pull it up.
everything is, yeah. If you can pull it up, because mine's just trying to update everything and
Yeah,
open
no, don't
everything.
worry.
Son of a. There we go. It is fantastic. Like, I love his work. If you've ever read Summer Blonde, his Optic Nerve series, I'm a huge fan of this guy. He is a Gen X writer and a cartoonist. I mean, the stories he tells are easily relatable to guys my age, but this book is the book of cringe. This is so fun because it is stories of him on the road at conventions, just general interactions he's turned into stories that have like some sort of anxiety effect on him or have given him just a bad vibe, or they're just, sometimes you read them and you're just cringing at the end because it's so tough, but they're just stories he's lived through. And
Yeah.
I love this guy's work. So if you've never read one, I recommend probably something else before this. I don't know. I mean, Summer Blonde's pretty good, but some of his stuff is pretty harsh. So, um, but have you ever read any Adrian Tomine?
I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure. Here, let me give it a quick Google. But
They're
I'm gonna
usually
say,
like slice of life stories. But I've had some come out of nowhere. Like, there's one story I just remember in particular that dealt with curb stomping, that I first learned about
oh
that
boy.
in his book. So that's just the kind of weird reality stuff that he writes into him. Do you see anything that you recognize?
The the Optic Nerve book sounds familiar, but I
Yeah.
don't remember. And then also, I think Sleepwalk. I don't know. Maybe I wonder if we read
Oh
some of
yeah,
the
I do
stuff.
love that book too. I have that one.
Yeah.
Um, and from indie comic to a Marvel comic, War of Kings. Let me see if I can finally share this.
Did you say War of Kings?
War of Kings, yeah, the Marvel series. Let me find it. Hold
Oh,
on.
I don't know if I read that.
Oh, really?
Let's see.
And we're sharing. Okay. War Kings, Abnett and Lanning. It is a great cosmic run dealing with Vulcan. Black Bolt is actually an Inhuman story. I think you can read. It's got the Shi'ar Empire and what happens when all those families go to war and what they're fighting over. I'm not a big fan of Vulcan since they brought him back as kind of like the third Summers, but in space he's kind of a bigger deal and plays better in the series. Um, there are a lot of tie-ins, but I just read the core run and I loved it. So
Yeah, Vulcan's a pretty big deal right now on X-Men Red. For anybody reading that.
yeah, because he's like a god. I mean, but then in the War of Kings, they supposedly kill him, but obviously he's not because he's in X-Men. But fuck, I don't know. Like, Gabriel Summers is not somebody I go to for being a big bad, but he fucking does it in this book. It's really, really good.
I
And
like him.
again, more
Yeah,
Inhuman stuff. If you're not an Inhumans fan, this gives you enough to make you kind of enjoy it a little bit more.
Andrew Thomas in the chat. What's going on? Yeah, I like the what is the other one called? I think the most famous storyline for Summers or for Vulcan is Deadly Genesis,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where we also get to see like Darwin and some of the second class of the first X-Men. A lot of really cool characters introduced there. I know it's a kind of a controversial, like some people like it, some people don't. I think it's fun. But yeah, Vulcan's kind of just like he's easy to dislike.
Yeah, I
But
think that's what it is.
I think that's why I like the character. Like when it's well done, like it's easy to dislike him. Because I mean, Summer Brothers, they come in all shapes and sizes, right? So
We need to go through the whole Summers family and rank
yeah,
them because I think Vulcan may be on the bottom, maybe next to Nate Gray.
we'll include possible clones,
Yeah,
people that were meant to be Summers Brothers, people that love to replicate Summers Brothers genetically.
yeah. But to me, Havoc's my favorite. Scott never really seemed to be the leader that people wanted him to be, but
Mm,
Havoc was always kind of the displaced brother. And so, he had different adventures. He runs off with Polaris in the early X-Men, but his Mutant X run is one of my favorite runs of all time. So if you could ever pick up the entire Mutant X run, you get the Goblin Queen, you get different versions
yeah,
of the Marvel Universe in this world with Havoc. And so it's fun to see who's good, who's bad, and how am I going to survive the Goblin Queen?
I like Havoc in what's the team? Is it X Factor?
Yeah.
I like him in the different iterations that I've read. I like that they are like almost heroes for hire. Sometimes they work for the government. I think one of the runs I read, they work for like a private company.
Yeah, that was probably
Um,
the Peter David
yeah, the
run.
Peter David run
That's
from
the
like
one I own. That's the one of my favorites.
I love that one because Gambit's in the team. Um, and I like Gambit. There's a whole cover with Gambit and some cats. Anyways, that was the internet back then in 2012.
I love Strong Guy in that.
Yeah, yeah, he's really cool. I would say as far as the Summers brother or the Summers people, um, I like Nate Gray specifically in this like latest like the Age of X-Men stuff that happened right before this big reboot.
Oh, I didn't read that.
I like him as this like big messiah figure, like all powerful. Like Cable's cool, but he had to be nerfed down, right, with the virus.
Yeah.
So whenever in these alternate universes where he doesn't have the virus, like,
But see,
and then
I love the Messiah complex there's a Supergirl run by Peter David where Supergirl has these fans that like think of her as like a god, and it's like I kind of dig that. I think that's probably the best done version of it,
yeah,
of that kind of take. Um, the next one is a documentary I watched on HBO. I wasn't sure if you wanted to watch the trailer for this because this is just kind of weird. Do you know what an automat is?
I don't think so.
This is for the old people. If you want to pull up that, I put a link in there for the
Yep.
Automat official trailer. It's a documentary that's on HBO Max I watched, and it's very interesting talking about the history of America and how we used to feed ourselves. Automat is you'll look at it and be like, well, it's like a vending machine, but it's not quite. It's got like hot meals and stuff, and people would go there with like a fistful of nickels and could eat. And they were like diners without diners. It was just you would get a table, you would go to a machine, fill it full of quarters,
Now,
and get a
Clay,
hot.
hold on one second. What are nickels?
Jesus Christ!
I was just kidding.
Welcome to. I'm going to create an intro for Old Man Clay segment so that we know we're talking about old shit when I'm talking. But it was really kind of a neat picture because a lot of the automats appeared on the East Coast, so it's a lot in New York, and they were considered like a restaurant in a way. But you would go in, pay a machine for food, and get meals out of them, and people would just go and hang out in these automats, and it was a place to be. Yeah, Mel Brooks does do a lot of voice in it, so.
Okay, I was like, I know that it looks familiar. I wasn't sure if it was Mel Brooks, but okay, let's see. Let me know if you can hear.
Some people just adore martinis. Others love iced tea. In Venice, they all go for bellinis. But coffee, that's for me. I've tasted every kind of brew
Get to the
at
story. Yeah, this.
coffee shop.
As a boy, I was mystified. I became a merchant the day that I was in that automat.
But this was the time.
Oh, my internet's a little wonky.
Uh-oh. Damn it. Damn you, internet.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today.
Coffee.
But you see,
Yeah, I get the. Here, I'm gonna stop it because sorry.
yeah, because it's just lagging too bad. But essentially, you could see a picture of what an automat was like. It was like this wall of food that was locked behind, these doors, and you would pay so much to get like a bowl of beans. There you go. There's a shot of it. And it was a company that ran back for decades. It was, and it's just really interesting because it's not a part of America I remember, but it was a time when people would kind of come together that didn't have a whole lot of money and could eat in these places and get a good meal and just a place to sit for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know if it doesn't even look like something I would have ever seen around here. And there's still some pretty old buildings around that have some stuff like that, but I don't know that it would have. Yeah, that one's interesting.
Yeah, because it's weird because it's actually like what we could use today in a touch-free food world, and they started making a comeback during COVID. But yeah, this was a business that was going defunct. There wasn't any left, and they started making a comeback during COVID in one of the articles I read to follow up on this, because it was just interesting to see how people used to feed themselves. I mean, like for a nickel, you could go get a whole bowl of beans, a hot meal at this place.
I'm trying to think of maybe something like the equivalent, but I guess I don't know that we have anything nowadays. It's more like all the food just comes to your house. That was the next step.
Well, imagine the people who are buying a meal for like a nickel looking at us who are paying $20 to have McDonald's delivered. I mean, how fucking ridiculous is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did a rewatch of Spaced, Edgar Wright's TV show. Have you ever watched Spaced?
I haven't. No.
I pulled up a clip if you want to try to play that one, but since your internet's walkie, it's just it's a nice intro.
Yeah, I see Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah. If you've never seen Spaced, but you love Edgar Wright's movies like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver. As much as I've talked about Baby Driver, I hope some people have started to watch that because I just love that movie. Edgar Wright started as a kid, but he met Simon Pegg and did a TV show called Spaced. It was written by Jessica Stevenson and Simon Pegg, and it was Gen Xers in their 20s in London. And so it shows Edgar Wright building his toolbox. You see pre Shaun of the Dead stuff that you go, oh, that that's how he got that look in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
You see lots of great camera tricks that he used in Hot Fuzz, and just the building of how he tells stories through the camera. Space is one of my favorite shows. It is a quick watch. It only ran for 2 series, which is like 2 seasons in America, and there's a finale. I own both American and UK DVDs because they have different commentaries. Quentin Tarantino did a commentary track for Edgar Wright back in the early 2000s because he loved space.
He would.
Yeah. And it still holds up. I mean, I named my dog Colin after the dog in the show because I love that show so much. It just is, every episode holds up. The Star Wars tributes are fantastic. It is right after episode 1 came out, so you get Simon Pegg's reaction written into it as a character.
That's fun.
It is just the best. And the most surprising thing, fans of Nick Frost who have seen him in all the shows he's been doing and outside of the stuff he's worked with Simon Pegg on, this is his first acting job. And he's fantastic. He might be one of the best characters in the show. I love Mike on the show. He's just a military guy who's just a little intense.
I can see him be like a no-nonsense guy, similar to a character that shows up in Andor, the redhead guy that's helping out, what's his name? the main the
Yeah.
the original bad guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, the guy that looked like Niles from Frasier. That guy?
Yes. Yes.
I can just call him Evil Niles.
Evil Niles.
Yes. Let's see here. I got to see Wakanda Forever. Do you want to
All
talk
right,
a little
let's
Black Panther
yeah,
too?
I prepared for this.
All right, let's
We're
get
gonna get a
into it.
little bit of spoilers, so if you haven't seen Wakanda Forever, go. I mean, what are you doing? Go watch it. Stop watching our show. Go watch Wakanda Forever. It's way better.
It's so good. You don't realize the time. I love being in that world. I'm trying to think. The most impossible thing is to try to do a movie without the star, do a sequel without the star, and it kind of works. They do a great tribute. I'm just not so sure about Suri being the one in the suit.
Yeah, and I was talking to some people about it, and I wonder how much of this is just kind of my bias in real life for like all the stuff we heard from Letitia Wright.
Yeah,
how
that's
much is like, I mean, as much as I want to, like, it's hard to separate, go into the movie and separate, like, she's this like really smart scientist character, and like, and then so but I love the movie. I've seen it twice, and it was
M'Baku stands out for me. He's a home run.
His people don't call him king or general. They call him Kukul Klan. Oh, he's so good.
He's so good, man.
I need more Jabari. I like how he was kind of set up at the end. That was really cool. I think it finally, like, it really pays off for the future, I hope. But yeah, Winston Duke. When he walks in the room, and he calls what's her name, Okoye, hey, bald-headed demon woman.
What was your surprise person that popped up in the movie?
Riri. She was great. Like, right off the bat, I was like, oh, she's amazing. Like,
yeah, they aged her up. They aged her up some.
Yeah, I like the stuff. I like that she's at MIT, where we know some other characters are at MIT too. So, not that they're gonna connect them together, but like, it's just fun to think about. Like, oh, they're all there, and they don't really know.
What a great time to set up the champions.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They're all college kids.
Yeah. What's Miles Morales doing? Huh? Let me know.
What if Miles Morales wandered into our universe during the Multiverse of Madness, and he's hiding at MIT too?
Hey, God, we're doing Wakanda spoilers, just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like all the stuff at the college, like specifically like the scene in her dorm when Shuri's trying to convince her to go along, and then like Okoye is already there.
Yeah.
And she pulls out, she throws the speaker, and Okoye just slices it in half, and they're all like, "You brought a spear?"
Okoye to me is the MVP. Like, her and Angela Bassett carry this film for me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I want to see them all the time. I loved Riri Williams. I mean, just their interaction in that room was fantastic.
Yes.
But I secretly wanted Angela Bassett to suit up. I wanted to see the Queen in the suit and see what she would do. Cool. But she had to, but as the ruler of this country, I mean, she's kind of in charge, and she has to be the diplomat and go everywhere and do everything. And it's interesting to see, especially after the blip, what everyone thought of Wakanda, because it was like, we're going to help you. And then suddenly they withdrew because of the blip, and how everyone reacted to that.
Yeah, I think the scene at the UN, Angela Bassett just devoured it. And then also the scene at the council, like where she like talks about like she's lost everything, like, right?
Yeah.
When she demotes Okoye, I was like, oh no, like, it wasn't her fault. And
but it was so important to her character, like, to see her go through the first movie and how important it was to support her king, and then to have that ripped from her in the second film. Oh man, that was just good storytelling.
And it makes sense because in the comics, when she wears the Midnight Angels outfit, there are people that used to be Dora Milaje, but they're no longer Dora Milaje. So it kind of makes sense. I like the Midnight Angel outfit. They look goofy as hell, but I love that they're straight from the comics. Like, so it's fun. And of course, I mean, Namor and anyone, and all the people from Talokan, it almost felt, I almost wanted when Namor takes Shuri to Talokan, I was like, oh, can you guys just like stay here for a while, like for a while longer?
Yeah.
Um, I don't even want you guys to fight. Just like have fun. This is
Yeah, I just want to see that world. I loved spending time in there, and just the way they use that comparison later in the film of what Atlantis was like.
yeah.
Well,
and then,
not Atlantis, but
Talokan, yeah, and then the way Tanakh just flips the switch, like he can be super intimidating at the same time. Oh, Kyle's frozen now, I think.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh, there he's back.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, we've been having tech difficulties all day, Kyle. So maybe it's the internet overall. It's not just us. But yeah, Tenno Huerta as Namor. I mean, he's great. I saw a thing on the news, which is just like on my Twitter feed or something, or on TikTok, like that Disney can't make a standalone Namor thing because
Hulk.
it's Universal.
Universal owns both.
Universal owns both. Yeah, yeah, that's why they don't do Hulk standalone things. Although they did She-Hulk, so maybe they cut some kind of deal.
No, it's just the Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just the Hulk.
It was never like it's not like we're
So it's not like Spidey that is all the Spider stuff. It's just
or Fox when they had Fantastic Four. It was just the Hulk itself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Fox, it was always weird because like Namor is also part of the Fantastic Four lore. I'll tell you this, Reed Richards better watch out because Sue Storm is gonna have a difficult choice.
Yeah. That is one storyline I've always loved, that he was just always making the moves on Sue. So it was like, I was curious, was this guy going to be like totally charismatic to all the women on here? And he kind of is. He can pivot on good and bad pretty good.
Why not? He's been in relations with Emma Frost. I mean, come on.
I know it doesn't fit the narrative of what's going on, but like Namor being like a movie producer, it's one of the most fun things I've read. Like, I love that stupid storyline. Like, he made movies just so he could cast Sue in them. And that's how it's just real dumb fun comic.
Yeah, and for as much as John Byrne that I grew up with, like I grew up with his Namor, and it's a weird storyline because it's like Namor's like a businessman.
Yeah, he's like rocks on, and that's that's what I want to see. I want to see him as like somehow have the I don't know how it's gonna work, but that would be awesome.
I mean, see, I remember that, but I don't remember any great story arcs. I always remember. I love when Namor would show up with the FF, and there would just be the conflict.
He was the what do you call it? He became the CEO of Roxxon, ended up basically domesticating the Griffin, ends up bringing back Iron Fist from the dead, which he was never actually officially dead. That's how they brought Iron Fist back. And two, they had that whole big tar mess where he lost his wings for the longest while too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that too.
And
yeah,
I remember John Byrne Namor stuff was good.
The wings look cool in real, like, well, not in real life, but in the movie, like
in real life.
In real life,
and then she rips that one off.
Yeah, I love the way he moves around too with the wings. Like,
yeah, the movement had to be different with those wings, and they did it.
The ending is kind of where the second time around it's probably the weakest part of the film. Just because, like, I don't know, it feels. Why would you go to the ocean to fight in the middle of the ocean? That feels poor. Like, that feels poorly
planned.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed the movie.
Where else are you going to fight? I mean, you got to pull Namor to the land, and if you're not going to be able to get him to come over and land, you got to take the fight to him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
I mean, I hate to say, most of Namor's fights usually happen over in water, and it's usually like it's usually people going to sea, and then usually him getting the upper hand because he's by water. It's only
unless he brings the water to you because he's wielding the Phoenix Force.
Okay, and now we have our second mutant.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no. I was reading an article, and apparently there's been a different couple of mutants in there. Apparently, I think I was reading, or they were saying that like Mr. Invincible from and She-Hulk is probably a mutant.
Yeah, the immortal guy from Mr. Immortal from he's supposed to be a mutant.
And they went through a whole list of other characters of who might actually.
I think Elagula is usually a mutant too in the comics.
There's still rumors that maybe Wanda and Pietro might have been mutants because in WandaVision they mentioned that she had the powers way before she ever got attached to the stone. So
right, yeah.
So we might have had mutants a lot longer than we think.
So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I highly recommend Wakanda Forever. I think it's gonna hit Disney Plus around January, so maybe we'll do like a full show.
Can I talk about my surprise cast or
Oh
surprise
yeah,
star that
sorry,
rolled
yeah.
up? Michael B. Jordan. Holy fuck. That was
Oh,
such a great surprise in the
that-
film, and it paid off. It was such an essential scene, and I loved it.
that was my favorite scene. So
How do you pop up? Oh no, it's right. Yeah, after Shuri goes to the
when
Panther
Shuri
realm.
takes the
Yeah,
herb,
okay.
that was that. So thematically, that was such a powerful scene for like the story that they were telling.
Yeah.
Because Shuri,
And then to have
like,
his voice later help push her as a character.
multiple times Shuri was like, I just want to burn the world down, because she also lost everything now, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the decision that she had to make. But yeah, you're right. That was when I saw that in the theater, and because they in the trailers they showed us that that scene, but without him, right? We see Shuri standing in the room on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leonard Kim in the chat saying Namor was so good. I agree.
I'm still
amazing.
torn. It's like I'm not hating on the fact, like I kind of, so I'm torn to the fact it's not Atlantis, that's Telecon. I get sort of why they did it, but like there's a part of me, it's like it's the MCU, it's their own universe. They've changed the history for so many different characters, but there's still a part of me, it's like, why can't you have Atlantis? Why can't you have that in the MCU? Why does it have to be like something based on the Mayan heritage and Telecon? But I guess I mean, like, I think it was done so well that it's like, I'm just, it's fine. But I just, what was the reason why you couldn't have Atlantis itself? Why did you change, of all the biggest things you changed in the MCU? Why that?
What if they have plans for Atlantis?
Maybe.
That would be interesting.
Maybe.
Because what if we see Namor take over another underseas world that we didn't know about? What does that mean to us? Like that he invades another country and takes it over? That would be very interesting.
Cool. They can kind of pivot however they want, because it's all underwater. Like there's some, even in the real world there's so much unexplored stuff in the water. We keep discovering like species and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we'll never get all of them. Like we'll never catch all the Pokemon.
Well, I can't wait to see Namor use more of the water tricks that we know. I mean, the stuff that they introduced, the flooding.
Okay, so he controls water in the movie.
Yeah, he has these water bombs that are just grenades that cause flash flooding that are fantastic. I mean, the visuals, they created some really cool shit in this one. I love it.
And I don't know if he's the one doing it, but he can definitely, like, the water was rising because remember in the scene that you see the water starting running through the city. Yeah. So I don't know if that was him or like that was something that they were all doing. Also the rest of the Telecon, like the one with the shark thing on his head, I forget their names. Namora. Namora is one of them. She's a badass.
Namora, yeah.
And then
I thought they were brother and sister in the comics.
No, I think Namora and Namor are cousins.
Cousins, okay.
And Namora is Namorita's mother.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
So good question in the chat from Leonard Kim. Did Valentina? So that was another surprise too. Valentina showing up.
The fact she's the ex-wife of what's his name.
Did she seem like a different character? I felt like I was watching a new version of Valentina.
I think that is her character. She's a different person to her husband, her ex-husband.
That was interesting. That was interesting because I don't know that
she's sort of the new Namor. I mean, she's going to play whatever role she has to. Not I'm sorry. Nick Fury. She's the new Nick Fury. Like she's.
I was thinking she was going to be the new Thunderbolt Ross.
No, but he's coming back. He's going to be in Captain America and the Avengers.
Yeah, that's true. I think they did. Looks like Harrison Ford may be in talks to that.
No, he's already in. The rumors are now he may be playing Red Hulk.
I think the Valentina we saw in this movie is actually who she really is. I think she had been playing it kind of low key in the previous stuff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
To try to get these people. Although, I mean, she's from the beginning. She's always had like the upper hand on any situation she's in.
She's going to be in charge of the Thunderbolts. Did you hear who the villain for the Thunderbolts movie is probably going to be?
I heard I heard either Hyperion or Sentry because they're looking for an evil Superman type of character. And I think both
Henry Cavill, what are you doing?
I know, no shit. No fucking shit.
I know what he's not doing.
Marvel.
Let DC build what it needs to before you come back as Superman. Let's be Hyperion for a little bit.
I mean, we also have I know it's kind of the same character, but what's Anthony Starr? I mean, just slide him over.
That's just too close to Homelander.
Or I'll say this. even if he doesn't play Hyperion, I still think the perfect role for Henry Cavill in MCU would be Captain Britain.
Yeah.
She's definitely not snarky, but I think it's just because we didn't get enough screen time.
And does Ross really know her? Like, that's the big question. Is like, now that we've seen bits of her as she introduced herself, he's the only person that we know that has history with her. So he may be a critical part of the Thunderbolts and maybe taking them down.
Yeah. Really interesting. All right, I did prepare another banner because I know you have one more thing on the list, so might as well get into it. Let's talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Yes. It's so fucking good, dude.
That was just fun. Like, that is a great way to kick off like this holiday season. It was great. I loved it.
We're getting into sport. Okay.
Yeah,
we
got the banners, we got spoilers.
The music is fucking fantastic. Josh, if you're watching, they use one of your favorite Christmas songs by the Pogues.
Which one?
The opening song.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. The Pogues Christmas song. What is it?
All right.
So
Fairy Tale of New York.
Okay. I know about it. I didn't realize. I was at another Thanksgiving dinner last night, and I go, wait a second. When is the Guardian supposed to come out? It's like, oh, fuck, it came out yesterday.
Yeah, it was like in the morning. So
we almost stayed up and watched it at 2.
I watched it in the morning. It was really like, because it's like I watched it in between soccer games. So like the really early one finished. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy. I made a little quick short because we've been doing some shorts with the 3 things that are kind of like canon new things. And I think Kyle's gonna enjoy the last one a lot. So the first thing,
go for it.
Mantis is Peter Quill's sister.
I always wondered about that. I was always wondering.
I did too.
Yeah.
I did too. I'm glad it's finally canon.
Yeah.
I am too, because I love Mantis's evolution. I know she's more of a celestial type in the comics, but I love her just being a little more down to earth and quirky and weird, and a balance for Drax. Like, those two worked well together in this.
I would watch like a sitcom style show from them.
I just wish one thing for Mantis, and this is one thing I wish they kept from her comic book character. I love how innocent and how kind of like lost she is, kind of aloof she is, but I wish she still was sort of like the martial arts badass that she was. I think that would be an interesting character.
Wait till you watch.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Wait till you watch the show.
Letter Kim, the awkward moment when Drax and Mantis are harsher on actors than Quentin Tarantino.
Yes. So true. So harsh and so good. And even Karen Gillan was funny.
The second thing that this updates before we get to the third movie, the Guardians purchase Nowhere from the Collector. So now that the Celestials head, like that's their base of operations. Everyone that kind of lives there is part of their community,
including Cosmo.
Yeah, Cosmo's all over it. I love it. I love the interaction with Rocket.
Do we get appearance of Howard?
No, Howard. No, but the third thing, Kyle, I think you're gonna really enjoy this. GoBots are canon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When Drax comes to Earth with Mantis, they go to the Chinese theater, like where there's a lot of people dressed up, and that you can take pictures with them. Somebody's dressed as a GoBot, and Drax wants to attack them because we find out that a GoBot killed his sister.
And he calls them GoBots.
Yeah. So that means out there somewhere in space.
I know.
That's awesome.
Marvel bought GoBots.
I'm in.
I thought you might like that. I mean, also we have Kevin Bacon dropping some Batman, Bruce Wayne.
So good. So DC Comics exists in the Marvel universe, which is pretty funny.
I mean, we did know that because of Eternals, right? They also had a Superman and a Batman thing. But
it would be neat to see like comics on the stands that were just DC.
Yeah. I
and
like
She-Hulk, because She-Hulk doesn't own her copyright.
Mm-hmm. And the overall thing was great. Like, like just getting Peter like to experience a real Christmas. But I also like the fact that we start with a little animated clip and then we end with another one. Like Yondu he gave him his gun, his elemental guns. Well, I don't know if they're elemental in the MCU, but
They look more like
supposed
actual laser guns in the movies.
yeah. So
Yeah.
really fun stuff. Very very heartfelt.
And what did
heartwarming.
Peter give Yondu? His first character on the console.
Oh yeah,
The little characters on the console is started with the first one Peter gave. So Gunn just brings all the heart to the Guardians. This is I will watch this every year. It's so good.
Well, and there's
No.
an end credit scene. Did you stay for the end of the credit? Did you skip? Because
I'm
they
trying
said
to-
you could skip credits. Rocket and Groot.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
They're dressing up Groot as a Christmas tree, and then he messes it up. Which Groot having a tiny head weirds me out a little bit.
Awkward Groot
Yeah,
is maybe one of my favorites, and I hope they make a toy of it because he's just weird.
Is his
And it's
body
just-
growing faster than his head?
his body is the same size as the first movie, but his head is still like smaller than it.
Oh, it's
you would
funny.
think.
Yeah, he just he's he's at an
Because
awkward age.
That big body needs the big elongated
Gotcha,
head
gotcha,
like
okay.
from the first movie, right? So
I was gonna say with Clay, it's like watch Marvel or watch Disney make all the recommended holiday specials that we got to see now. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
Halloween's Werewolf by Night. Christmas is now, or even I guess you want to put it Thanksgiving for the the holiday special. It's
Hawkeye, the whole show takes place.
Oh God,
during
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah, of course. I'm not gonna rewatch that again for Christmas.
So yeah, their tease was like, oh, maybe we'll do another one next year or something. So
Yeah, they got to save Christmas for
interesting.
Groot.
Yeah, I think those would be cool. I think it'd be a fun one where they like meet Santa Claus because we know Santa Claus is canon in the comics.
But this is a question now: would James Gunn be able to come back and do another holiday special? Because I don't think it has the same heart if he doesn't do it.
I think he could. I mean, he's the main dude. He's running the thing. He could do whatever the fuck he wants.
Mhm.
I'm sure he
No,
put it in his contract like, hey, specials are still up for grabs.
You hope, but let's see what happens. I mean,
next year we're gonna get a Peacemaker holiday special. That's what's gonna happen.
yes.
Oh, also,
It's just him and the
John
ghost
Cena,
of his father.
Yeah, there's a John Cena Easter egg in the holiday special.
I would say there are Suicide Squad Easter eggs.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that he's worked with. He put them in the little map of the store. so-
Nice.
yeah,
that's
it's very fun. All
Kira
right.
Sedgwick, Kevin Bacon's wife, is credited, but she's only ever on the phone.
Oh, I forgot they were. I knew I saw the name, but I forgot that was her, his wife. So interesting.
The old 97s are the band, and I love the song that they play for Christmas. It is fantastic.
That's because the one thing James Gunn's almost better at than doing movies is fucking soundtracks.
Dude, this is the best soundtrack of Christmas because this is the music I would listen to. This is like the Waitresses, the Pogues. Like this is alternative rock Christmas music that doesn't get a whole lot of play. And the Pogues does have a lot of like really violent language in its Christmas song, but they played all the good stuff so that you don't get that. So when the kids go hunt down that song, it's going to be real interesting.
I'm still waiting for my fucking Peacemaker soundtrack. Come on. It's like
yeah, that is a great fucking soundtrack.
Yeah. At this point, you might have just to get it from somebody on Spotify or Apple that already made a list.
No, I want my fucking vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the Suicide Squad vinyl and it's fantastic.
All right. So the last thing that we'll do spoilers for, and then Kyle, we'll let you talk about some comics if you have any.
I'm gonna hold up on the comic books, but I got 2 TV series I want to talk about.
Okay. So real quick, and we'll probably have to dive more into more deep into Andor, but
I haven't
the
watched
finale
any
was.
yet, so.
You haven't watched any of them?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's the best Star Wars stuff that's
That's
happened
what
in
I've
a long
heard.
time.
I've been hearing that, but it's one of those things. Like I tried watching the first episode, just was not in the mood for it. It's just I haven't been in the mood for. No. I know. It gets, but it's just one of those things. I had to be in the mood for something serious. When I realized,
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a lot more like the tone of. I mean, the tone of Rogue One is all over this thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's not the ride along that is some of the.
I'm just gonna have to be in the mood for. I'm still in this kind of where I want to watch not necessarily lighthearted more stuff, but I just haven't been in the mood for something that heavy right now. So.
Yeah, and it is very heavy. There's like a lot going on in
sure.
it. So I mean, Cassian goes through just the first season alone through so many changes. Like you see him from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where we are at the point in at the
So
end
we
of season
know
one.
that the second season is gonna lead right up to Rogue One. So, but I don't know how many years. that is. We've met a few characters that were in Rogue One.
Do we have any idea where this is kind of set in the history? Like how many years before like Rogue One?
I think it's probably just a couple. Like it
Just a
can't be
couple.
more than 2 or 3 before Rogue One. I think, but what I really like is the expansion on the lore of like just seeing Mon Mothma's story too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Genevieve O'Reilly is just like she's giving up everything, like her family, like she's just everything she's giving for the rebellion. And I think she's kind of an underappreciated character. So I'm glad
It's
she's
not even
getting
that.
this turn.
It's you guys, everybody else around me. Like I don't think there was one person I haven't heard this. Whenever Andy Serkis made an appearance, it was like, oh my god, Andy Serkis is an Andor. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
but his role is so good and his
Yeah.
acting is so good. Like this dude is just I don't think we appreciate the guy. We look at him as a motion capture guy, but when he does his live action shit is so good.
No, I mean, come on. Well, I mean, okay, this is where I'm gonna say I think the MCU did him wrong. Like they could have done so much more with Claw. Like
Yeah, I agree.
True.
I think
like
But you
could've
needed a
easily
villain
made
to
him-
be on that level in Black Panther, and I think he is. I mean, a guy
Well, no,
who's
I mean,
stealing.
You could have easily made him into the energy being that we want, that he's supposed to be from the comic books, but they
Yeah.
didn't. They just kind of kill him, and that they just.
I think he could evolve to that. I say,
I hope.
yeah.
I
but
guess
think he
there's
could get
the
there.
door's still there. Yeah, the door's still open for that.
I mean, the best is to bring Andy Serkis back as a CGI character because that's where he rules. But seeing him in these live action scenes, giving speeches and motivating, and like he pivots from one character to another in it, and the way that evolves just over a few episodes is fantastic.
I haven't seen it, but how was he as wasn't he Alfred in the Batman?
yeah, he's fantastic. Well, you haven't seen the Batman?
No, again, had to be in the mood for it. I haven't been in the mood for it.
Yeah, I guess that one's definitely hard to get in the mood for. But
I was gonna say he has a couple of scenes that really pay off.
Okay.
I highly recommend the Batman. I need to watch it again.
Really?
Really?
You like the Batman movie?
So yesterday there was a lot of Black Friday sales going on, right?
And which version did you buy?
I bought. They released a new steelbook of the Batman,
Of course.
so I just bought another copy. So I have the original steelbook, but then there's a different. It's like a different cover and everything.
I have 2 steel books of movies. I
mean,
Ghost in the Shell. I have 2 steel books.
You guys should see. I have probably 4 or 5 different versions of the Nolan trilogy in different like sets and stuff.
I'm missing Dark Knight Rises in steelbook.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, for this one's gonna be kind of the same. Like whatever they release, I'm probably gonna end up picking it up.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Yeah, so go watch Andor. I think we'll have a full Andor show when Josh watches it because I know he wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I do want to point out though, Stellan Skarsgård.
Oh yeah,
is making Star Wars an acting show. He is bringing all his fucking talent that we didn't get to see in Thor and other things into this, like his role as a spy and how he has to change back and forth.
When,
and who he's
when he
talking
puts on
to.
the wig,
yes,
and
he just becomes a different
like,
person.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh, the fucking acting. Somebody showed this to Martin Scorsese.
But the fucking end of Endor, when Cassian gets onto the ship and he grabs that gun, and you're just trying to decide which way is this going to go.
Yeah,
just those two are so good. I hope there's more of those two together.
I hope they expand a little bit on Bix, the character of Bix. I think Adriana Arjona, her character was a little underused.
Is she broken?
But yeah, that's what I want to know because she was like the few scenes where we did get to see her performance, like the whole thing with the torture, so good. Also, I really like this new Imperial Deirdre. Like she is fucking menace. Like
MVP
anybody that watches this show,
MVP.
Yeah, anybody that watches this show and still kind of roots for the Empire, like you're a fucking fascist for sure.
But
this show will weed out the fascists.
Oh my god!
But Deidre is so good. Like that actress, she can turn on that resting bitch face, and you just recognize her as a member of the Empire, and she just has this vision of what she's going to be and what she's going to tear down to get there.
And it's interesting to see that even within that, like how effective she is and how good she is, like she still struggles to kind of like, because the Empire hates to be troubled by things. So like just bureaucracy and all that still gets in the way. And that's what the rebels exploit, right? Oh, and then of course the reveal of the stuff they were building in the fucking prison.
The oh shit, yeah, like the end scene was so
Yeah, there's a
fucking
little.
great. The
What are they
payoff
building?
in that was great. They're building sections of the Death Star. Those
Like
little
these, they're like these hinges that hold panels for the Death
That would
prison
Star.
make
labor.
sense if it's going to run into Rogue, Rogue
Yeah,
One.
yeah.
Yeah, it
So
makes,
so that kind of gives us a timeline. I don't know. I've never read any book that tells me how long it took to build the Death Star, but that gives us a little bit of a time frame because it's definitely not fully done, but it's pretty well on its way.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it looked like that they were putting the gun together as it was blown out, and it
yeah,
was just going to be pushed back in. That just looked like the coolest shit right there. Is just
yeah. Like
putting the gun together with all the parts
when you have a
that the
3D
prison,
model and you blow it up, that's kind of
Yeah.
what it looked like. Yeah. So
yeah, and you have all the prisoners who have used their labor to build your death weapon.
yeah, which is a whole other commentary that this show has a lot of commentary on the real world, which I can see why some people may not want to wake up on a Wednesday and get to that, but yeah.
Can we talk
Right.
about what broke Bix? The Empire's torture method for getting information out of Bix is the screams of dying children on this one planet. And it's just the most disturbing idea is that these screams continue as she's being tortured and they just break her mind. Like
And
that's all she hears are these screaming children.
The best well done thing from that is that we never hear it.
Yeah.
So
We
it's
just
up to
see
your
her.
imagination to figure out what they sound like.
Oh man,
Yeah.
to me they probably sound like that dude's mom that he has to sit with every morning. The Cyril, the guy who got demoted, had to go live with his mom. Evil Niles. I love the mom because she just picks at him and she just knows how to get him, and he is gonna kill her. He is getting to the point where he is just taking so much shit from her.
I think he would be a good Norman Bates. If they ever redid something with it,
dude.
Like I feel that feels like the character, but anyways, all right, Kyle, what have you been watching? What's
Well, I may have a few comics to talk about, but two shows I started watching. I ended up I broke it down and ended up getting an account for Paramount Plus again, just because I've been missing watching Star Trek.
Nice.
But they have the new Transformers series, Earthspark, on there, which I started watching. I watched all the episodes. It's a series that plays off of a Generation 1, but it's definitely a kid's show. But it's got an interesting what they're doing because apparently this is where the war has already happened. And sort of like in Logan, they have comic books based on the original Transformers that people read, and they kind of show you and everything. So it's like, so you have this family who they've moved to a new town where the mother is supposed to be like the wilderness sheriff, but she is working for a group called Ghost, who is teaming with the Transformers to keep to basically keep either the Autobots won the war, but they're basically they still have Decepticons who are still running rogue, and they either have to keep them hidden or arrest them. And Megatron's now working with the Autobots, but apparently they have this new like power source that when humans come into contact with them, they merge. Some of their essence sort of merge, and they create new Cybertronians. And so this brother and sister end up finding the source and end up creating two new Transformers that they meet, and they sort of become like their siblings, and their parents become the parents from the new Transformers. So it's this weird kind of series, but again, more of a kid series, but again, also a new direction for the Transformers. So I don't know if I'm going to keep up with it, but it's definitely more kid related than I want to watch. But I'm kind of interested to see where they go. And then I ended up watching, and this is my fault I started in the second half of the season. I started watching Star Trek Prodigy, which is the new Nickelodeon series they have, and holy shit, it's a Nickelodeon show, but it feels more like it's not a typical kids show. And they're going back and they're bringing everything back. Like there's one episode where you see where they have the Xindi in there, the reptilian Xindi, and then also and Clay will remember this one. I can't remember his name. I think his name is they call him Okana. But it's remember the season 1 when the actor who played the Rocketeer played that one like space kind of pirate.
Oh yeah,
they bring him back.
Okay,
yeah, I forgot. So this one like it's so these kids find Chakotay's gone missing. Vice Admiral Janeway's on a ship trying to find out what happened to Chakotay and this other starship, the Protostar, and these teenagers are in charge of the Protostar, but they also can't contact Starfleet because apparently one of the characters, her race from the future, has come back and created its weapons on the Protostar that's supposed to destroy the Federation and Starfleet, and so they can't. And even open communications can leak the weapon to any with Starfleet. So they're being tailed by other villains and Janeway, but they're also having to trying to save the Federation. So now they're in the middle of the neutral zone, and apparently there's a peace treaty going on. This is definitely, I think, after Romulus has been destroyed, but they still have or maybe not. I don't know. But they still have the Romulan Star Empire, and it's.
Is the captain voiced by the same actress that did it in the live action?
It's Catherine Mulger as Janeway.
Okay, cool.
And
I recognize her. I remember from the promos that I was like, oh, that looks like the same character from the live action stuff.
Well, she plays two different roles too. She actually plays Vice Admiral Janeway, but she also plays Captain Janeway as a hologram, who's the doctor sort of for the protostars. So it's like
okay,
cool. Janeway's, and it's like this is okay. I'm kind of digging this. This is kind of okay.
That's a nice way to kind of as these kids grow up.
It's a show Nickelodeon, but it's not as kid oriented as you think a show from Nickelodeon is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I watch Avatar. They can do it.
There you go. There you go.
That works.
I was going to ask you what your take on the Transformers show, because I'm looking at Earthspark, and there's a lot of new voices on here. People doing voices. Danny Pudi doing Bumblebee.
Yeah, it is Danny Pudi. I didn't realize. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk as Optimus Prime.
I forgot the listing. I didn't realize that was okay. So Optimus, the way he's okay, I hate to say, Optimus is kind of he sort of acts like Alan Tudyk's kind of character, which is kind of
fun. Really?
Yeah.
Diedrich Bader is Mandroid.
Yeah, I know him. I knew Mandroid. He's also one of the agents for Ghost.
But Rory McCann is Megatron. Rory McCann from Game of Thrones.
I never saw Game of Thrones.
Oh, cool.
He was the Hound.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Scottish. So Megatron has a Scottish accent?
No, he doesn't. He definitely goes. No, he doesn't.
Megatron is a Highlander.
But Danny Pudi and Alan Tudyk, that gives me more appreciation for it. Okay, I may have to keep up on this. It's more kid oriented, so it's going to be probably a little bit hard. I mean, it's got the typical kid vibe to it, but again, if you ever watched Transformers Prime that used to be on the Hasbro network, that was a show it was a kid show, but it was not your typical kid. That got some dark essence because especially the way they did Megatron. He was this dude who had his teeth were fangs, and I remember back when Michael Bay did the first Transformers movie. He hired Hugo Weaving because he goes, I don't think Frank Welker could sound that menacing. It's like, go watch.
It's Frank Welker, dude.
No, but even this, he makes. I mean, not even did they just draw him, but he even makes Megatron sound more menacing than his Generation 1. Like he makes Hugo Weaving's Megatron sound like a pussy in Prime. I'm not kidding.
Megatron versus the Highlander would be epic. Talk about bringing a gun to a sword fight.
Yes.
And again, like Megatron, there can only be one leader of the Decepticons.
That's true. Yeah, because you don't want to have Starscream in charge.
Oh Lord.
That's like when Dwight takes over at the office the first time.
And I mean, and they have characters, and they keep introducing Generation 1 characters like Wheeljack, RC. Cool. They had Soundwave in the cassettes. I mean, it's like the family that moved to this town. The dad, he's like the biggest Transformers fanboy. He knows all the whole history. So when he goes, Bumblebee's going to come live with us. Oh my god!
We've upset the Frank Welker fans.
Hey, I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, Welker.
Cool. Kyle? What about you? Said you had a few comics.
Okay. So I read the most recent Amazing Spider-Man, and
dude, I read it too. What did you think?
Oh my god,
it's cool, right?
Yeah. So it's
Zeb Wells,
Ken Riley infected with the new whatever supernatural force, and he teams with Madeline Pryor, who's back alive. So they're basically working together to get revenge on both Jean.
It's the setup for Dark Web.
And I want to see this. I've got to see this now. Oh my god!
Cool. I like it. I like Madeline Pryor in this.
Like story. I said, once they got through the first couple of issues of the Amazing Spider-Man, the series has been gold. I read everything with the recent story arc they did with the Hogum was amazing. Now they're going this direction. I'm just like, this is fucking. I love the new Amazing Spider-Man.
And they introduce a new character too. So
yeah,
cool stuff.
Oh yeah. I read the new Daredevil, which is him now in charge of the Fist, and it's him just apparently I'm still catching up on the issue, but there's from what I get,
he's going to be hand.
No, the Fist. He has a new organization where he's going to be to destroy the hand.
There's too many body part organizations that I can't keep up with.
Cool. Anyway, he basically goes and breaks a whole bunch of villains out of a penitentiary to see if they want to help join his thing to help take down the Hand, and he ends up taking on U.S. agent and beats down U.S. agent. And so, but he also gets videotaped and realizes he's been videotaped. So at the end of it, you have two individuals watching the tape, and it's Iron Man and Cap goes, "Oh, we're the Avengers. We're going to bring Daredevil in." So,
yeah, Chip
then-
Zdarsky has been doing some really fun stuff with the series. I'm a little behind, but I can't wait.
And then I read, and then this one was where I was a little bit different. And I know you probably read this one. I read the newest X-Men.
Yeah.
And this one, where like apparently you find out like there's this vault on Krakoa that apparently has like these powerful mutants that could kill everybody, and they send Forge in with Caliban as like the suit of armor, and they apparently free this one girl who's I guess mimics or whatever the guy's name's girlfriend or something. So
No, that's Laura.
Who's Laura?
So the problem is Wolverine.
X-23.
Yeah. So
is it X-23?
The problem is in Jonathan Hickman's run, Laura and Sync got left behind. They thought Laura died, but they wanted to get her body back. And Sync came out of the vault. But so they brought back Laura back to life using the protocols. So now there's two Lauras. One that's like older, that was stuck in the vault because time runs differently. But Gary Duggan's been doing like I like this because it's not as connected to all the Krakoa stuff. Like you could just really read just X-Men standalone.
Maybe you've talked about this. I read an issue about 1 or 2 weeks ago where it's an X-Men issue, I think. Or at least I think it's or it might be Wolverine, but Wolverine's being killed and Beast is killing him.
Oh yeah, Beast. I think it's probably X-Force. I'm behind on that one, but X-Force is the one that really makes Beast look like a villain.
Yeah,
I think Marvel hates Beast. I don't know why.
Shit.
I don't know what Beast did.
I miss the old blue fluffy furball who had the hair like Wolverine Beast. That's the Beast I want them to go back to.
Yeah, the fun guy, the fun doctor who was always doing stuff.
Sorry, Clay. Denmark just got scored on by Mbappe on France.
Fuck that guy.
He's very much a diva. All right, Kyle, do you got anything else?
No, that was kind of it.
Okay, I got just some quick things I want to hit. So I did watch Don't Worry Darling, the movie with all the controversy. It's now on HBO Max. It was fine. I think the movie's fine. I think the drama with Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles and Florence Pugh like really hurt the movie. But because of the World Cup, I wanted more soccer anime, and I'm already watching the 2. But I found that they remade Captain Tsubasa on.
Did they really?
A few years ago in 2018. It's on Prime Video, so I've been watching that. It's not very good, but I think just the nostalgia of it, of rewatching it again, like because I watched the original when I was a kid. It's really interesting. And then I've been catching up on my Star Wars reading. So I read Crimson Reign, which it's really like a series of one shot to introduce the Crimson Reign stuff that Kira is leading. For this whole Hidden Empire thing that just started. And I also caught up on Darth Vader Volume 5, which is also tied to Crimson Reign. Greg Pak's doing some really fun things, especially because Darth Vader is now working with one of the handmaidens that was a handmaiden to Padme. So it's really weird because not only, she looks like Padme, so there's probably some emotional stuff going on there. But she also knows she knows pretty much all the secrets because she was a handmaiden to Padme. So although I don't think she knows that Luke is his son. But I guess she knows who she is. I guess they don't know about Leia, but nobody knew about Leia at this time. So that makes sense. But it's really good. It's really, really fun. So all right.
Hey, I just want to promote another YouTube channel because they do a recap of Don't Worry Darling. Anyone who watches Amanda the Jedi YouTube channel, she does a Don't Worry Darling recap that breaks down the movie versus the script and the changes they made to the final product. If you don't want to watch the movie, it's the perfect way to watch it because she shows how bad it is from what they did and what's on screen. And
interesting.
What's in the script. So I'll drop it in the chat here.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. That's interesting. I might need to check that out because, like I said, I think the movie's fine. Chris Pine is great, which Chris Pine. So, which I think it's a good segue to our main topic or main discussion. I guess not really a topic. We have a few things to talk about, but in an interview in a podcast, what was it called? Two Bears.
Yeah, Two Bears, but I think it's from your mom's house. Two Bears, One Cave.
My mom's house. Okay.
Your mom's house is the podcast. It's called YMH Clips. Is where I'm watching.
I just read the Variety article, and I did post the thing on our YouTube channel. Just a tweet from Culture Crave. Yeah, that's why I get paid the big bucks for the segues. So the thesis of this is Quentin Tarantino says that MCU actors are not movie stars, and the quote here: "You have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters, but Captain America is a star, Thor is a star." Like, I think, and you know, I think there's a lot of different points of view. So we do have a few people that commented on our post on YouTube. So I'll go ahead and bring that up. So if you guys want to be read, your comments, we can read those. I'll make more of these posts. So we have Deceased Brick Builds says the actor isn't bigger than the character they portray, not when it comes to long running comic book characters.
No, they wouldn't be as big and famous if it wasn't for the actor playing them.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, but if Chris Evans
it feels like a very chicken and the egg type of thing.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a good example. So Black Angus Review says, besides RDJ and maybe Evans afterwards, like, he's not wrong. I know RDJ was a movie star.
Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Brie Larson had an Oscar for The Room before she was cast as Captain Marvel. She has done knockout movies that I absolutely love. And I think Captain Marvel, they were taking a character in comics that I don't think is as elevated as she should be, and have done it in the movies. And I think that with Kelly Sue DeConnick's Captain Marvel run helped elevate the character in the comics. But I think Brie Larson is bigger than the role itself.
It's different. I got one for you. Samuel L. Jackson was already Samuel L. Jackson before we ever had Nick Fury. The Nick Fury we have in the MCU is based on the Ultimate Universe, which was based on Samuel L. Jackson. So don't give me this shit. The stars aren't stars.
Yeah, I mean the Ultimates actually cast stars as the roles in that Mark Millar run,
which is a good comment here. Leonard Kim said, "I suppose it all depends on how someone defines movie star." Leonard Kim disagrees that they're not movie stars. And then we have Kurt that says, he's right, but I think that's a good thing. I mean, actors are supposed to disappear into the roles, which, I mean, I think that's a good point as well. Let's see, we have Lego in the chat. It's like people will go see the new Tom Cruise movie. He's a movie star who plays characters and people recognize him. The movie's sold on him. I definitely agree with this. I think people go, well, yeah, not everyone, but
who the fuck is Ethan Hunt versus Tom Cruise? People go see Mission Impossible and they don't talk about Ethan Hunt. They go Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I think the same thing with like Leonardo DiCaprio or Denzel Washington, Will Smith. Like, I go watch Will Smith movies, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of who he's playing. If he happens to be playing Deadshot, that's just a bonus for me. Let's see. The MCU is not marketing movies for their actors. They're doing based on the characters and IP. Most of the MCU actors aren't leading other movies. If they are, those movies are doing well financially. I did want to check on that. I think so. I remember RDJ did this movie called The Judge, like right after maybe Iron Man 2 or 3 or the Avenger. I don't know, somewhere around there. And the movie kind of.
ScarJo was a big actress before she even played Black Widow.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Now,
Zoe Saldana made her first $1 billion on Avatar, not on Endgame.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're not doing well financially. Yeah, I think that's kind of what the point. That's what I was thinking with The Judge and RDJ. Like, he was a movie star before that. I think him pairing up with Iron Man was like the best thing that could happen to his career. And the character, like, I think they both benefited a lot because
either way you look at the Hulk, Ed Norton and Mark Ruffalo were movie stars before they played the Hulk.
Yeah. See, but I think I'll go watch an Ed Norton movie where I don't know if I'll just go watch a Mark Ruffalo movie. Like, I like Mark Ruffalo.
I've seen him. Like, I know it was Catch Me If You Can. Now You See Me.
Yeah,
I saw that before I saw him as the Hulk, and I mean.
Wait, Now You See. Oh, the magician.
Now, do you guys refer? Huh?
You didn't go to Now You See Me for Lex Luthor?
Oh no.
Jesse Eisenberg, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chris Hemsworth's been doing some big movies. Yeah, I think what Tarantino's trying to say is that they can't sell the movie just on their own star power, which I think overall, I think other than maybe like Brie Larson or maybe even RDJ, like I kind of agree with that.
Karen Gillan, Oscar Isaacs. I'll even put Michael Rooker out there because Michael Rooker was big in Jesus Christ, that horror movie about the serial killer. Jesus.
Well, not even that. Chris. Why am I always blanking on his? He's only Chris. I can't remember his last name.
Pratt.
Lord.
Pratt.
I mean, everybody knew him as, he may not have been a movie star, but Lord knows he was famous for freaking Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
His Passengers movie bombed, and that had Jennifer
Lawrence
in it too. So I think there's a point. I think people are kind of misreading. Like, I don't like, this is a good point. I don't think Tarantino was saying they're not good performers. I think that's definitely not the case. I think Chadwick Boseman was probably also somebody that was really close to, like, people would go watch a movie because of Chadwick.
I was with Chadwick Boseman. He definitely proved he's a good actor outside of Black Panther.
Yeah. I do think, okay, so Leonard Kim says that he does think that he was devaluing what the scores provide to the character coming to life on the screen. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, what the actors bring. Okay, yeah.
Now, Quentin Tarantino did dabble in comics, and in the 90s was going to do a Luke Cage movie, and that never came to. I think he has a love for comics, but at the time, I mean, we only had like Blade, and he's coming off Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs to do a Power Man movie. That would have been fucking fantastic.
I'm gonna say this: I think a lot of the roles, whether it be the TV shows from Marvel or the movies, I think some of these roles have given the chance for these actors to prove they can act and to prove that they can go into bigger things. I mean, maybe, again, Chris Hemsworth might not be the best thing, but I don't think Thor would have been as popular if it had been something else. I think Hemsworth made that role his own.
Yeah, but it took 3 films to get there, and Taika to really pivot on who Thor was and take him through an emotional journey, because those first 2 are just kind of bland. They don't really, and I've heard the complaint that from Aaron at my comic book shop. He goes, Chris Hemsworth is not Thor from the comics.
No,
and I'm like, yeah, but it's different and fun as long as it's steeped in that mythos, and I enjoy it. I don't care.
Tell me one character in the MCU that's the same character from their comic book counterpart.
Yeah, it's tough.
Do you guys think that that's one of the big differences between Marvel and the DC movies? I think people will go watch a Robert Pattinson movie regardless of what the movie is.
I don't think so. I don't think
I've never seen a Robert Pattinson film.
I think people will go watch The Rock in a movie regardless of what the movie is.
No.
The Rock is always The Rock in a movie too.
I'm looking at the top grossing films for this year. So we have it's kind of split between they're all pretty much franchise, so something franchise, right?
That's the world we live in now.
Cumberbatch. I mean, he may not have been like an American movie actor, but Lord knows he's already a decent actor when it comes to the British side. I mean, he already proved he was a good actor before he played Strange.
Yeah, there are a lot of award-winning, top-notch actors who got these roles because of that work, and then there are some actors that they plucked out, like Chris Pratt, who showed he could do a lot more range than just comedy on TV. But yeah, I don't think he can lump them all in together. I mean, there are definitely characters like, if you said, I'm going to take Michael Rooker and make him a beloved character, people would go, the guy from Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, the bad guy from Slither, like,
no, for me, it would be the guy from Mallrats.
The guy from Mallrats, yeah, and then at the end, you're watching, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Like, you just realize some directors can take actors and take them to another level.
Yeah. You know what else I do? What I do like about this argument is that Tarantino it's kind of weird. Like, at least he's not punching down, which is good. Like, yeah, right? Like, right. It's Disney. Fuck them. I don't care. Like, yeah, sure. Criticize them all you want.
Yeah.
We do have the Cumberbatch in the chat. Let's see. We have Henry Cavill made The Witcher a good series. Just based on it. Yeah, I love Henry Cavill.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you're also finding, and that's what I think with a lot of the MCU or like some of these, like even DC, I'll give them props for is you're starting to find actors who are actually fans of these characters too. That's why they put so much time into the stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting to go through the history of people who've always wanted to play Black Panther and Power Man because in the beginning, Wesley Snipes didn't want to make a Blade movie. He wanted to make a Black Panther movie. Well, he put a production company together to make that, and then ended up. I'm
going to go Daredevil. I'm not Affleck. Who's the guy who plays current Daredevil?
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. I mean, he was in a few movies, but nowhere. He was no big name. Nobody knew who he was, except now Daredevil. Now people know him, and he loves that character. Like I can't see anybody else playing that character anymore. It's like
exactly.
It almost reminds me of like, okay, here's a new indie creator writing comics. They finally break in at DC or Marvel. Yeah. They build a fandom, and then they go out and do their own like independent comic. Like that feels to me like kind of the where I think before the main goal was to like work for DC or Marvel. Now the main goal is to go in, make a splash, build a fandom, and then bring those people with you to your own creator work. And I think that translates very well in the comics. Yeah. I know Marvel and DC are definitely going to probably outsell all those indie comics, but you do have these big hits.
I'm going to go one more, and this is it wasn't even MCU at first, but now is Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Reynolds, how big of a name was he before he came into anything? And
well, I don't know. He was pretty big in the like romantic comedy world. Like
he was already a big freaking name. Everybody knew Ryan Reynolds,
but he wasn't an action star. I don't think he was an action star.
Yeah,
maybe he started doing those until after Deadpool because he ended up in those Netflix movies because of Deadpool. Yeah. What was his movie? Last 5 movies before Deadpool.
I only remember The Proposal with Sandy, but that's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, there's a reason why don't we why Brad Pitt is not in any of these MCU movies. Oh, we got a bot. We did it. Guys, we have a bot.
Hot girl pics.
Oh, hold on, let me save that link for later. We did it, guys. We've made it. Once you finally get a bot in the chat, that means this is a good stream. But yeah, like there's a reason Brad Pitt is not in any of these movies. George Clooney, Denzel Washington, even.
Well, need you go back and show the one movie that superhero film that George Clooney did?
Oh yeah, well
what?
Batman and Robin?
Huh?
Batman and Robin.
Oh, Batman and Robin. Yeah, I was like, I just dropped that out of my mind.
That's what they're saying. Getting called out for saving a link. I was only saving it so we could ban it from the chat. I think that's how YouTube works. I do because of that whole acting thing and the whole punching above your weight. I do want to talk about it real quick. Clay and I were talking about Martin Scorsese before the show. So this week as well, I think it was this week. Simu Liu was calling out Martin Scorsese for gatekeeping and maybe even being a little racist. As a filmmaker, I think, and you can go back and look at Scorsese's work in the past. I think he's a great director, but I think also old Hollywood has a lot of problems that probably require their own show to talk about. But then that kind of pivoted into like, I don't think I've seen many Scorsese films. I think we were looking at it because his birthday was a few weeks ago, and somebody asked like, what are your top 3 Scorsese films? And I could only name 4 anyways total. So,
I mean, and here's an interesting point: is the movie like The Color of Money? Is that a Tom Cruise movie or is that a Martin Scorsese movie?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, how much does the director play into the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Spielberg probably made a lot of these movies that people go because it's Spielberg movie, not because just like maybe Matthew McConaughey's in it. I don't know that Matthew McConaughey's made a movie with Spielberg, but he should probably.
Yeah. But I mean, look at Scorsese's. If you don't have the king of comedy and you don't have Taxi Driver, you don't have the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, all Hollywood sucks. All right, so I did want to name some of the. Hold on, I hate this new IMDb.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I know.
How do I look at the stuff that I wanted to see?
The movies Reynolds did before Deadpool are pretty pathetic. I mean,
yeah, but it's still, but people knew the name. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah. But like if you look at like a movie like R.I.P.D., like he's teamed with somebody, because the last Ryan Reynolds movie is Green Lantern, the one that he carries by himself. That isn't a romantic comedy or Deadpool.
Did you know there's a sequel to that R.I.P.D. movie on Netflix now?
Yep, I already watched it. Yeah, it's the guy who plays a Burn Notice, and he's on the new Law and Order now too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't like that dude. Yeah, he's the one cop I hate. Well, in Law and Order,
I don't hate him. He plays the character you want to hate, but I think he's a good actor.
So, yeah, that's one of the movies I went with my buddy Austin, and it was like $3 for a ticket at Valley View when that theater was still open, and to watch R.I.P.D. and I was like, Ryan Reynolds and the dude, like, how bad can this be? And
Pretty bad.
It was bad. It's probably one of the worst movies that I've ever seen.
So you've never seen The Departed?
I have seen The Departed. That's on my list. So I finally pulled up the Scorsese movies. So I've seen The Departed. I've seen The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, good.
I've seen
Goodfellas.
No, I haven't seen that.
Fuck. That is a must see.
He's working on it. I'll actually give him credit for that one. Or haven't seen that one.
What are some of the more recent ones that I think I've seen? Oh, I saw The Irishman.
Yeah, that's like what, 3 hours on Netflix.
And I saw Silence. That's the Adam Driver's in it, I think. See, Adam Driver is a movie star. I go watch movies because he's in them.
Really?
But it does come from after Star Wars. Like, as Star Wars introduced me to Adam Driver.
Yeah.
But then when I saw him in other stuff, I was like, oh shit, like he could just act.
Well, I mean, the only thing I knew him from was from Girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. The girl I was dating at the time was big on the show, but I knew he was in that show.
Those are the 4 Scorsese movies I've seen. I think my favorite's The Departed, and then probably The Wolf of Wall Street and Silence. I really like Silence. Like, it looks beautiful. Yeah, Scorsese. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't get into the movies that what he makes.
Yeah, but during the 70s and that time period, he was making films that nobody was making. He was telling stories from the streets and crime stories that were on a different level. I mean, that's the thing is, like, you got to go back and look at the time period, because the 60s was a lot of studio films and 70s became this independent voice that was out there. And Scorsese got to ride that wave and tell some great fucking stories and work with great people.
The tone of films just in the 70s in general, it doesn't matter what genre you're looking at, action, Western, comedy, romance, drama, was so different compared to what we have now.
Yeah, looking at the list, I would definitely want to watch Raging Bull.
Raging Bull's good.
Raging Bull's great.
Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, just because I've seen Joker and I know that it takes a lot from those films.
King of Comedy, I cannot recommend enough for everyone watching. That is, if you enjoyed the Joker, watch King of Comedy, because you will see so many.
Even if you're not a Jerry Lewis fan, that movie is just a must watch.
Sandra Bernhard is fucking phenomenal in that, and that is really what we miss out in the Joker, is having that kind of counterpart to a Rupert Pumpkin type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of those films definitely were not made for everyone. They were just like, this is what I'm making. So
Taxi Driver, man. I mean, just during that time period when Taxi Driver came out, you're talking 76, and then 4 years later, there would be a guy trying to kill the president to impress Jodie Foster, who had played a teen prostitute in this movie. It's just weird where Taxi Driver ties into a lot of American history because of Jodie Foster and just the insanity of what Taxi Driver was and how it affected the guy who tried to kill Reagan.
Oh, I wonder if I should check out.
Too bad he didn't hit him.
The Last Temptation of Christ, just to see Willem Dafoe as Jesus.
I kind of want to see it for his performance, but I don't want to see it because of the content.
I mean, I already watched what was the Mel Gibson movie?
Oh, Apocalypto?
No, the one with Jesus in it.
Oh,
the Passion of the Christ.
Lethal Weapon 5.
Passion of the Christ. Yeah, Lethal Weapon 5. Yeah.
Did you say you'd seen Cape Fear, or Cape Fear is where you discovered all your
No,
Simpsons?
I haven't seen Cape Fear, but I've heard enough people talk about it. My buddy has a podcast called They Made Another One, where they talk about sequels and remakes, and Cape Fear is a remake of the original Cape Fear.
I recommend both original and remake. The remake stands up, and I think it's the performances that make it stand up.
Yeah, but as they were talking about the film, I realized that the Simpsons episode where Sideshow Bob is trying to kill Bart, an homage to. Now I don't know if the scene with the rakes is in Cape Fear. I would love it if it was. I hear good things about The Aviator. I think the Ghost talked about that.
My parents saw that.
Yeah.
I mean, Howard Hughes, kind of a cool dude, I think. Maybe. But yeah, The Departed I really like. And then the only reason I haven't seen Shutter Island is because everyone like spoiled that movie. Like,
yeah.
So.
And I'm just not a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. Like, of all his Scorsese films, like I like The Departed, but I won't go watch Shutter Island. I won't. What?
I'm doing the meme. Sorry.
The Wolf of Wall Street was pretty great. I don't know if I'd watch that again. But
it's like very
Aviator,
long.
Yeah.
The Aviator is also very long, I think.
After Hours is a great one from 85.
The Irishman I watched in pieces because it was very long.
Yeah, 3 hours. Was it 3 hours and 20 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, I think I also should watch The Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Gangs is good.
That's the one. That one has Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with him in there. Oh yeah.
So, we'll see. Maybe we'll do a Scorsese thing in the future. Maybe we'll see. But I don't know that
Henry Thomas is in that. Is in Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll watch it. That trumps Leonardo DiCaprio.
You've never seen it?
No, like I said, like Leonardo DiCaprio just kind of turns me off films a lot.
Yeah, but the Gangs. Okay, no, but he made his return. Like the two films that really brought him back into the limelight were Catch Me If You Can and Gangs in New York. And in my opinion, both films are good.
Yeah, well, Catch Me If You Can, I love, but again, to me, that's a Tom Hanks film. I know, because it could go either way in that film, but I watch it for him. I don't know why I just don't dig that dude that much. I mean, he's great in The Departed. He's great. The Quentin Tarantino film, Django Unchained. He's fucking great in.
I get to see the last couple of Tarantino films.
Dude, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I haven't seen Once Upon a Time. I haven't seen Dark Django, and I haven't seen what was the one before the Django.
Oh shit!
Oh, The Hateful Eight.
I haven't seen Hateful Eight.
Although I think it's after, but yeah, either way, those are I think.
I haven't seen the
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is so fucking great, and it's Quentin Tarantino on such another level because his stories are so layered with the characters and the actors he puts in them. Like when they go to the Spawn Ranch in Once Upon a Time in America or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he originally had cast instead of Bruce Dern, Burt Reynolds. And it was because Burt Reynolds and his tie to old Hollywood and the kind of character he was, or kind of actor he was. Like, that's the problem with arguing with Quentin Tarantino on his statement is when he casts an actor, he's bringing in what they've done in the past to that role so that you talk about the actor as well as the role and what it means for that person to be playing that role. So it's really hard. I mean, it would be like if we cast Captain America as a real soldier and we brought in a guy who had been in the military and put that on and it had a whole different level.
I'm not a fan of Don't Look Up. I'm sorry, Leonard.
I get kind of tired of those.
Speaking of Netflix, you can watch The Hateful Eight and like they broke it up into like a TV series type of chapters thing because it has chapters in it. So, Kyle, that may be a fun way to watch that. Okay. So the last thing I want to touch on is I think Simu Liu was definitely unprepared. I think he made some interesting points and good points for sure, but I think he was unprepared for the feedback he was going to receive from other people about the contributions that Martin Scorsese has done for the industry. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting argument. I do love that out of all this, people brought back up this like fake film that Scorsese never really made, but it's attributed to him called Goncharov. I don't know how to say that. Which like the internet just kind of created this fake film. They made posters for it. They they've cast people in it, like, but this movie doesn't exist. It just kind of took a life of its own, which is the wildest thing I've seen in a long time. Let me see if I can find the poster for it. Yeah, here it
Oh
is.
yeah, I've got the poster up.
Of course. Let's see. I mean, this looks like a pretty good cast.
It does. I mean, it's a
I
home
would
run.
watch
Al
it.
Pacino, De Niro, Gene Hackman, Harvey Keitel. The poster also has Sybil Shepherd in it.
Yeah.
Is that Fredo?
Check it out.
Interesting.
This is not a real movie. Like, this is fake.
Yeah, but I would watch it. The fictional film follows Goncharov, a former Russian mobster and discotheque manager who gives up a life of crime to settle in the seemingly idyllic Naples with his wife, Katya, after the fall of the Soviet Union. But in Naples, he meets Andrea, the banker, Dedeno, who becomes his rival and implied love interest. While she grieves her father's death, Katya meets Sophia, and they develop a close friendship brimming with implied sexual tension.
Winter comes to Naples. That's the tagline of the movie. Well, if it ever gets done, maybe they'll do it with CGI now that all these people are probably a lot older.
I mean, if someone was crazy talented, they could. Hey, where are we?
Sorry.
If someone was crazy talented, they could put the film together like Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, the Steve Martin movie that he put together with Public Domain Films. They could do something like this. This looks fantastic. All
right. Is there anything else you guys have on this whole? I mean, I think it's a very interesting topic. We could definitely debate it, and I think it goes up higher than just Tarantino's comments, right? I think cinema and the films and being a movie star has changed a lot.
Oh yeah,
in the last few years, and then I think probably by the time this new generation of people, like, you know, in 20, 30 years, will be watching movies and be like, well, that's not how you make movies. You're supposed to watch 30 films before you watch the next one. This movie's not even based on a comic book. Why is it out? So,
I mean, it's great going with Mark, and we hit 1999. There are no comic book movies. I mean, it's hard. There's like a handful. So it's like as we keep reviewing every year, there's just a few more comic book movies as they start to figure out the formula.
You already passed Blade.
We did do Blade.
Love it.
The first Captain America. It pretty much goes Howard the Duck, Captain America, or Howard the Duck, Punisher, Captain America, Blade.
That sounds right, I think.
Well, not if you're counting the Corman FF.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it never got a release, so it's kind of hard to. It's in that window, and it is like my favorite FF movie, but.
I just realized we had all those gifs of Blade loaded up.
Hell yeah!
Let's see. I want to say Cap was 93. Howard was 87. Punisher was like 88 or 89.
Oh, okay.
So you're probably Howard.
And then Blade is 97.
Yeah. I swear to God, there's someone else in there. I can't think of it.
You're probably wanting to include like Rocketeer and The Shadow and.
No, if we're just going, but I'm thinking Marvel. Oh, no, hold on. Actually,
Blade gave us one of the best lines in cinema.
Some motherfuckers.
When he said, "Yeah, some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill."
Yes, I love that.
Which from what I saw, Wesley Snipes said it in the set one day, and they're like, "Oh, we got to use that." So
my final argument is going to be my man Moon Knight. I don't think that's a character that is above who Oscar Isaac is as an actor. Oscar Isaacs has been on the scene doing fucking incredible performances and takes Moon Knight to another level. You have to have an actor who can pull off the character changing skills that he has to be able to play that character. So again, you know, like, I don't think the characters are bigger than the actors. The actors elevate some of these characters, like Moon Knight, who I'll say is like a C-list character.
Wait, when you talk about films, are we talking just Marvel, or are we talking Marvel and DC?
I think there's a merit to bringing some of the DC
Burton's Batman Returns.
That is, I mean, those early ones are not Keaton; they're Burton films, and I think Keaton elevates Batman to another place that we hadn't seen, because at the time we were looking at a comedian going, he can't play a superhero. Then we saw the movie and we go, okay, maybe he can.
Yeah.
But Burton shot it that way so that we believed it.
Yeah. Now I would watch a Ben Affleck movie even if he wasn't Batman. I'm just like I said. I think the
Dogma?
DC is more like the DC movies. They cast movie star, like Christian Bale is a movie star, right?
Yeah.
Like I would go watch. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a very different approach to the filmmaking, I think.
But again, like Gal Gadot was interesting because she had just been doing the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before she got to become Wonder Woman, and she holds that. I mean, to me, she is the best DC character of the Trinity.
I'm gonna count. Oh, I guess if you're just talking about the Trinity, yes. If you're talking about all the characters, I'm gonna count it with Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
She's up there too. Yeah, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn may be one of the best if she stays with it. And I'd love to see her and James Gunn's relationship continue now that he's president. I have a whole shitload of Harley Quinn movies and tie-ins.
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, Margot Robbie might be in the top one, but I'm going to say John Cena as Peacemaker comes in a definite second. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's tough though because he's John Cena no matter what.
Yeah,
but again, when he becomes Peacemaker, it's when he cries, dances, and just fuck shit up. That's Peacemaker.
That's Peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. But he does it so fucking well. Like he's not. He might be John Cena, but he's not the WWE John Cena.
Yeah.
He proves that John Cena has more than one persona that he can go into, and when he made Peacemaker his own role, like he is. There is no way that is the John Cena who's supposed to be, hey kids, drink your milk. I'm Superman for WWE. Take your vitamins kind of guy. This is the guy like. I'm gonna fuck this dude and this girl at the same time. I'm gonna smoke pot, drink, It's like, oh my god,
all his poor choices.
Yes.
All right.
And actually, Zachary Levi is Shazam.
Yeah, that's pretty great casting. He pulls that off really well. I just wish that there was a balance between him and Billy.
Yeah, I don't know if Levi's a movie star though.
No, he was more. Again, he was a TV star. He's. I'm putting him in like the
now, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu in these upcoming Fury of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
No, but again, I'm putting him in the same realm as Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Zachary Levi got the role of Shazam. He made it his own. Charlie Cox got the role of Daredevil. He made it his own. So that's now those are like now people are starting to know who the names are. They're going, beside that, like what was he known for? Chuck. 5 seasons of Chuck. He did, but I still knew the name. So
cool. Well, let me pivot out of this to close out the show.
Really, I never. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Finally, these come in handy. They relate to the topic. Let's do some recommendations, and I can start because you guys know I'm not a binge watcher really anymore. But this last Wednesday. Wednesday Addams, the show, the Netflix show premiere.
I was going to throw that out there.
It is fantastic. I love it. I love Jenna Ortega as Wednesday. The whole world, like this is probably my favorite thing Tim Burton's done in a long, long time.
I've seen some clips and it looks good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's only 8 episodes. I watched half of them on Wednesday, half of them on Thursday. And
how long are they?
They're like 45 to 50 minutes.
Okay.
Wow. So they're pretty long. I mean, they're not short. But it's really fun. It's a cool mystery. I think it takes some of the fun parts about the Addams family and definitely updates them for a more contemporary approach to it.
Isn't Uncle Fester played by
from Fred Armisen.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, all right. Thank you.
Yeah, he's great. I think the whole family is great, but the show is really in Jenna Ortega's shoulders. And then even the cast, like her classmates, are great. Like her best friend Enid, I like her a lot. Like just really fun relationships, a goofy mystery. It almost feels like it's not like a Scooby-Doo level type of mystery, but it's somewhere in between that and a Tim Burton movie. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's see. Oh yeah, Leonard Kim. 3 episodes in, I'm beyond pleasantly surprised by how good it is. I don't know much about the Addams Family, but I'm loving it. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch the black and white show when I was a kid, the reruns. I watched both of the movies in the 90s. Um, really, really fun stuff. So definitely recommend it. And also, if you want more General Ortega, watch X, the Ty West movie.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about that. I still haven't seen that one yet.
You need to watch that and Pearl.
Yeah,
And
I
then
just got a copy of Pearl, so I'm gonna
we can
watch that.
watch Maxine later on and complete the trilogy. All right,
I'm ready.
Clay. Here, I'm gonna show you a thing.
Okay, good. Yeah, and then just scroll to the left. I bought the Marvel miniature game.
Oh, you control the screen, so you if you need to
Okay.
scroll.
MCP Marvel Crisis Protocol, and so it's gotten me painting miniatures, and I love it. I actually these are two Disney Infinity miniatures I painted. That this was Violet from the Invisibles who lost her head, so I turned her into a Sue Storm. And I updated a Rocket with a Red Ravager uniform and a repaint. This is a 3D printed Shaggy that I got from Josh that I painted. But he's not here today. I was going to show him. Couple of paint jobs I did. This is the Iron Fist that comes with Marvel Crisis Protocol that I painted, and this is the paint job that comes with the Hero Clicks. And I felt like I did a decent one. But I'm very new at this, so
it takes time.
Yeah, I can't do faces very well, but yeah. So like you can see, this is a work in progress. But I wanted to pull like this is from a board game, and this is the paint job they did on Doc Ock, and this is the Hero Clicks, and then this is the MCP version. I'm still trying to paint, so I'm getting there. But I haven't even played yet, and I'm loving this. Like I built. The Cosmic Cube with Red Skull. Let me get a few more of these. Oh, that Ultron's out of focus, damn it. Yeah, Ultron was tough. I wanted to do a variant, so I was going to do him in gold, and it didn't turn out very well, so I started to do silver and leave a gold leg. I'm still working on these, so I'm not 100% sure which way I'm going to go with them. Got my Luke Cage, Power Man and Iron Fist, and a Scarlet Witch.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this one just because she had so many cool effects and she mounts on this. And then I've been doing some of the bases in just black and white, just because I kind of like the way it plays out. There's a Quicksilver, Groot. I added a little more green to Groot because he just seemed to look better with it. And those are the heroes that I've done so far. So when you guys want to get together and play, we have a Power Man and Iron Fist team up. I think that's all of them. Yeah.
Very cool.
Except for I did want to share.
Oh
boy.
A screenshot I got from Mark. And I'll pay the dog tax. There's Luna.
Oh. Very cool.
So Marvel Crisis Protocol, all the miniatures are, you can buy sets in boxes for $40, but you can find them cheaper online. And they're just fun to paint. I've never done miniatures, so this is new to me. I'm wanting to get into Warhammer and some of the other ones just because I'm loving just painting it.
Yeah, check out this weekend. A lot of the shops are doing Small Business Saturday, so maybe they got some good deals. I'm probably going to try to hit Common Ground and Zeus because I know they're doing stuff.
Oh, God, I wish I had some cash. I would just love to buy some more and just put more teams together. I'm finishing out the characters that came in the boxes, but the paint, like the Captain Marvel is really small and the Spider-Man's really small. So Spider-Man might end up looking like Venom instead of a red and blue Spider-Man.
That's why you do the black suit to avoid doing all those lines.
Exactly. That's the hardest part, is doing all the lines on that little figure. I mean, the Rocket one is so small that the head comes in 3 pieces and I can't hold them. Like, you need tweezers and you have to glue them together. So I just gave up. I was like, I'll try to convert one from the Marvel or from the Disney Infinity set.
Cool.
The other recommendation I'm going to put out there is a movie that's from 2013 called Short Term 12. You'll look at the cast before they really hit it big, but this is my Brie Larson argument. This movie is fantastic. When I asked my son, or my stepson Spencer about like what movies do you reflect on that remind you of like growing up with me and stuff like that, this was a movie he brought up, which is interesting because this is around the time he graduated from college, and Short Term 12 is about kids in a state school. And Spencer's now coaching football in high school and teaching English. And so he saw like the worst of what's in Short Term 12 because it's a lot of kids with disabilities and mental problems and basically kids in their 20s trying to take care of them. But Brie Larson, Lakeith Stanfield, Remy Malek, John Gallagher Jr., Stephanie Beatrix. This is a fucking lineup of stars. The story's a little heavy, but I really recommend it. And this is my argument against Quentin Tarantino's argument about stars and playing superheroes. I'd say show the trailer, but if anyone can track it down, check out Short Term 12. I believe it's on Tubi for free.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know, Kyle. I know you sent me a trailer. We've been having some issues with me playing trailers.
Okay.
So.
It's not a trailer. It's just a clip. But I was going to say my recommendation. It comes out Wednesday. Is Willow.
Oh yeah, I need to revisit the movie. I need to revisit the movie. I haven't seen it in a long time.
This is what I've been really looking forward to more than some of the Star Wars stuff. I've been looking forward to this because it's So
nice.
Yeah. I have two movies for you. To go back on the early like comic book films. I have two ones from the 90s that I got for you. The Crow.
Oh yes, Brandon Lee.
And then The Mask.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark Horse. Yes.
Both 94.
94. Wow.
And technically, if you go 97, we got Men in Black, the first one.
Yeah, that's always a weird one, though, because you rarely find people go, yeah, I was reading the Men in Black comics and saw the movie.
But definitely The Mask and The Crow. Those are both good films.
Yeah, those are both really good.
Yeah, you have to figure out who was putting out the comic at the time. Was it Malibu?
Was James O'Barr doing it himself. And then I think
James O'Barr was doing it himself.
Who bought it? Was it Dark Horse?
Not The Crow. Sorry, the Men in Black one.
Oh, Men in Black, it was Malibu.
It was Malibu, and then like Malibu got bought out by Marvel. So like,
but who was doing The Crow? Who took over The Crow?
God, I don't know. IDW.
Who did
he sell the rights to? Who did?
Oh shit! I don't know. Yeah, because he does not own the movie rights to The Crow. But you can see him at every con. Like I see him, drawing The Crow, drawing cool stylized shit for everyone.
Tickets are on sale for the December show here, the Dallas Comic Show at Louisville. I think they went on sale this weekend. So, who knows? I might stop by for a little bit.
And actually, Short Term 12 is available free on Tubi, Pluto, Peacock, Roku. So it's free everywhere. Check it out.
Cool. All right. I think we did it. I think we had a fun conversation. Thanks to everybody that watched live. Leonard Kim, Lego, Promiscuous Time Traveler. We have Matt. I know he stopped by for a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, Matt, Andrew, Clay. Thanks for being in the chat.
Oh,
with our computer troubles. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody that's been watching our videos. I think the channel's growing a lot. We appreciate that. We got more fun stuff coming planned for the next year, but the constant's going to be like, the weekly videos and this whenever we could do it. We'll definitely have an actual celebration of breaking 1,000 once Josh can get back. He's saving a turkey, or maybe not.
Saving? I don't think so.
He's brutalizing it.
Yeah. Do you guys want to plug your other thing that you're doing?
Yeah. I actually have the trailer loaded in here if you want to play it.
Is it this 31-second thing?
Uh-huh.
Is it the 31-second thing here?
It should be.
Yeah, okay, let me hit it.
Yeah.
He goes by many names. Today we use science to prove his existence. I've put together a team of experts. Kyle Condis, Bigfoot expert. Shelby Harrison, Bigfoot lead researcher. And I'm Clay Harrison, podcaster and Bigfoot research assistant. Every week we will bring you the latest scientific findings. When Bigfoot is caught, we will let you know. In the meantime, we will be watching Bigfoot movies and testing theories of pop culture's idea of Bigfoot. Welcome to Squatchin'.
We're doing a Bigfoot podcast.
Yay!
Me and Kyle and my wife Shelby are getting together. We're gonna do it right after this. So if you want to watch us live, we have a YouTube and a Twitch channel called Squatchin', a Bigfoot podcast. And
You have a link? We can put it on here on the chat here.
Of course, I'm not ready. Why would I be ready?
Or you know what? We could tweet it out from the next
We'll
issue.
tweet it out. Yeah, because after this, I need to take a break, and then we'll jump back in, and we'll do our first episode of Squatchin'. We're going to be reviewing what movie?
Assault of the Sasquatch.
Assault of the Sasquatch.
Oh my god!
And we're going to try to flesh out the show while it's live, but we already have some staples in place, and I'm ready to talk Bigfoot.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone. As always, stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I think that's all we have. I always hate that I need a vamp to find the outro. I should
relabel it and reload it to where it's.
I should arrange these in an order that makes sense. But that'd be too easy.
Yeah. Why make everything easy?
Oh fuck. You guys just keep staring at me for a second.
I'm actually like, so wait a minute. Brie Larson was in Green Lantern? What? Where? I don't know, but I pulled up her name and it listed her in the credits, and I was like, what? And I forget Angela Bassett was Amanda Waller in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking waste.
Go to Amanda Waller to, what do you call it, to T'Challa's mother.
Yeah, Queen. God, that whole fucking Green Lantern movie is a waste of people.
Oh,
Taika.
I got it.
You got it?
Good vamp. All right. Thanks, guys. See y'all later. Uh-oh. That didn't work.
Technical difficulties.
This computer, I'm going to throw it away. Hold on. Let's see if I use the other one. I'm just going to end the stream. Bye, guys.